All right, so we're starting lesson 9 here in our video overview. By combining the draw loop and counter pattern, the class writes programs that move sprites across the screen as well as animate other sprite properties. All right, this is a video that you need to watch on your own, so please click play here and watch this video on your own, please. I'm going to hit continue for now. All right, lesson 3. The counter pattern. This pattern is one of the most important ones in all of programming. X equals x plus 1. It is used to increase the variable by a value of 1. So this is going to take whatever x was here, whatever it was earlier in the code, it's taking that value and adding 1 to it. So if the x here, for example, if this is 10, it's going to take 10 and add 1 and reassign it to x. After this, x will be 11. You might call it the counter pattern since it can be used to make variables count up. A variable that counts up. You'll use this pattern a lot, especially with the draw loop. Let's see what it looks like. Do this. This program creates a variable counter and then uses the counter pattern to make it count up. When you run the program, what do you think you'll see on the screen? Read the program and make a prediction about what the output will be. So I'm going to do my version history and start over here real quick. So we're still in level 3. I can't change my prediction. Oh well. So make a prediction. You need to type something here. Type in your prediction. Look at the code here. What's it going to do? Well, we can see text size has counter. Var counter is starting with 0. We're initializing it at 0. Text counter, right? That's the X position. And then we're taking counter, and every time we run through the loop, we're taking counter plus 1. So as we run through this loop the first time, counter starts with 0, and then we add 1. And now counter has a value of 1. And we run through the loop again. And then counter goes up to 2. And we run the loop again and again and again. So the text size here is going to keep increasing, and the X position is going to keep increasing. And that's what's going on. So moving on to the next. So that's just about figuring out what's going on. So here, sprite movement. Using the counter pattern, you can write programs that animate sprites smoothly. Adding to or removing from a sprite's X or Y property in the draw loop makes your sprite move just a bit each time it is redrawn. So every time it goes through the loop, it redraws a little bit more in that direction. Make your program animate like the image on the right, this image over here. So notice before when we had random, it was like going across the screen randomly. Now we have this smooth transition. We've already added a line to update plain.x in the draw loop, but it needs to be finished. So we see plain.x. This code here is updating the value of x, the x position of plain. So we create plain, we set the animation, and then we have our loop. So the background, sky blue, and then we want to add 1 to plain.x every time. So here we have to specify the sprite plain.x, and that's going to take the value of plain, its x position, and we want to add 1 to it every time it runs through the loop. So every time it runs through the loop, the position of x, if you look at the counter, right, it's increasing every time I run through the loop. Which means, logically, let's say I increased my counter, now it's going to move faster, right? That's what that code is doing. But leaving it at 1 is good for this part of the activity. Moving to the left. If adding to a sprite's x coordinate makes it move to the right, how could you make it move to the left? So let's think about that. If adding makes it move to the right, what could make it move to the left? What's going to be the opposite of adding? Make your program animate like the image on the right. Update fly.x inside the draw loop so that in each frame, the fly is drawn a little bit further to the left. So update fly.x inside the draw loop. Our draw loop is right here, right? This is all our draw loop here. We want to update fly.x. So I'm going to bring in my sprite.x, and make sure I name it fly so that I'm changing this variable here. And I want to update fly.x. I want to use the previous value of fly.x. So this code right here is going to be assigned a new value. This right here is assuming the old value. So the old value starting, at wherever it's starting, the x position being 350. So fly.x right here is 350. We're going to run, I want to do fly.x math and use subtraction. Let's do that. So set up the subtraction first, actually, and put fly.x in there, fly.x minus 1. The other way we can do that is literally type in problem here. Fly.x equals, let's just get rid of the whole thing. So we do, nope. All right. Sorry about that. Let's try again. We could do sprite.x equals fly.x equals fly.x minus 1. You can type it in, hit enter, and the bubbles will appear. The drag and drop things will appear, and here we see it's moving. This is moving a little faster though, right? It's going across the screen a little faster. So what we could do is do -2 instead, and that will increase the rate that it's moving across the screen. So in number 6, you're figuring out, I would look specifically at this code, and we can see when we're running the code, what's going to happen, right? You had to guess which one it's going to be first before running it, and the correct answer is C. So as long as you pick C, you're okay. The red car, we're adding 4 to the X value, so it's moving to the right. The yellow car, we're adding 4 to the Y value, which is why it's moving down. Remember, Y0 is up here, and Y400 is down here. So if we're adding to the Y value, it's moving down. Okay, updating only the X or Y properties of a sprite can make it move straight up and down or left and right. If you want to move it diagonal, you need to update both of those properties. This program currently makes the mouse move straight down the screen. Can you update it so that it moves diagonally across the screen like the image on the right? So we want this over here, and what we're getting right now, whoops, I need to reset my version history here. There we go. So what you're getting when you start is it's moving down this way. So what we have to do is change the X value so it's also moving to the right, which means we're adding to the X value. So we're going to go to sprites, sprite.x, mouse.x equals. We take the previous X value, and then we're going to add. Whoops. Oh, I keep forgetting I want to do the adding first. That's my bad. Let's move this out. We want to put the addition in there, and then mouse.x plus 2. Let's see how that works. Moving diagonally. Challenge, can you make the mouse point the same direction as the image? So to make it turn, we have to add a rotation. So we're going to add mouse.rotation equals -45. It's going to turn it 45 degrees counterclockwise, and now it's facing the right direction. We'll continue this in the next video.